Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm doing kind of a follow-up today. This will be a quick one. Last February, I got the Oxedo LED replacement bulbs, and these were given to me by Oxedo to test out. The installation was pretty simple. There's a video that you can find on my channel on that. And that would cover any bulbs in the Crosstrek. I mean, they're pretty straightforward overall. The Oxedo specifically, when I first put them on, I was pretty impressed. The light output was pretty good. Over time, I started to become less happy with them, in part because I was constantly getting flashed at. And I know that there's a lot of back and forth in groups and in forums. LED bulbs in the halogen lenses, they're not street legal. It's really not a question of whether they are or not. They're not. Some of these are better built than others, and that affects how I guess they hit the mirror and some of that, and where the beam goes, and there's a lot kind of goes into that engineering, and I'm not here to get into that at all. What I can tell you is that I was getting flashed a lot with these. When I was loaded down for overlanding trips, I was getting flashed all the time. I aimed them down a little bit, it didn't matter. They're bright, and that was fantastic. But I remember actually it was really in the fall, I guess, where I picked up on it a couple months ago, where I noticed in a tunnel of trees I was in, this really weird kind of halo that I was getting, like as I'm driving, it was like up over here. And what that clued me in on is the fact that really the beam pattern on these things is throwing light everywhere. And hence probably why I was getting flashed all the time. I've left them in. I've been thinking about doing something different on and off, this and that, and then lo and behold, last week my passenger side went out. And see if you can if this is visible to you, but on this side it looks to me like the whole LED is just burned up or shot. This is the other side, and this is the other side, so it looks to me like a failure on that LED diode there, whatever it's called. I'm not an electrician, but that's obviously the light emitting diode piece right there. Now, in talking with some buddies that have been running these back and forth and doing a little bit of research, what I think one of the downfalls to these types of bulbs is they've got this cooling fan, as you can see here. If that cooling fan fails, the lights heat up. Now, I don't know this to be the case, but when I first pulled this out, unfortunately I wasn't filming, the fan was not free spinning. Now, I spun it and there was some grit and grime in there, and now it's sort of free spinning, but probably not the way that it should be. So my guess is that what happened is these lights, the cooling fan, got dirt, grime, and other crap in it. That fan failed, and then the light overheated. So from an off-road standpoint, these are in a spot here where they're exposed. They're going to get gummed up. They're going to get chewed up. They're going to get water. They're going to get all that stuff. And I think that these truly for off-road, they're just not going to work. They're not going to last because of the way the design is and the way the cooling is. I don't know if that's really necessarily a knock on Oxedo specifically. I think it's probably with any of these lights with the external cooling fan. So I will say this, I've got a friend running the Morimoto 2-bangers. They do not have an exposed cooling system. Their cooling fan and their system is internal. Those might be worth looking at. I may do that. For today, because I'm down a headlight, I am going back to the tried and true Philips. These are a Vision Plus. Supposed to be 60% more vision than a standard OEM So I'm just gonna pop those in. We're gonna run with those for now. Here's the thing that I've kind of come to appreciate with my setup and my auxiliary lighting. Having super bright headlights that people are flashing me for, I don't need that. When I'm out in areas where I really need the vision, I'm running auxiliary lights anyway. So you'll see, I may just run these, but those Morimoto 2-bangers are kind of an interesting, intriguing light to me. If anybody else is running those that passes by on this video, let me know. So there's a chance that I may give those a shot coming up. But for now, pick these up at Menards. We're gonna get both headlights back functional now. Being careful not to touch the halogen portion of the bulb, because the oils from your fingers will blow these up. This is a pretty standard installation for headlights. If you haven't done this before on the Crosstrek, you do need to take this piece off to get to the passenger side. It just sits in here. It's 2 clips, and then this just slides out of the air box here, and that gives you the access right in here to the bulb housing. So pretty easy. Certainly not anything that requires special tools or special know-how. You just kind of have to be able to pop that box off and get in there to line those up. These twist. Nope, gotta go the other way. Go in. So what they do, I'll show you on the other bulb, but they go in and they twist to lock. So it's just a matter, there we go, of finding the right spot. And voila, that one's done. Okay, so driver's side, passenger side, is it as bright? No, it's not. It's also a warmer white. You can see on the passenger side, the Oxito is very much a bright white. You know, tonight I'll get a feel for how much diminished the vision is on them. They're not as bright. You know, the other thing that comes to mind is they are, you know, half the price. And like I said, in my case, I've got other auxiliary lighting that I'm using, so I just don't know that for me that it's worth spending $80, $90, $100 on a set of LED bulbs again. I might change my mind after driving on these for a week or two. We'll see. But at least I've got both my headlights back. So now I'm going to do the driver's side, which is even an easier install because you don't have to remove anything. So this one is tucked up in here. Twist it out. Get access to that. Yeah, the fan on this one is definitely moving easier than the other one, so I would imagine that that's what happened with the other light, is that fan failed and overheated and cooked the LED on it. Because that's, feels to me like it's just it's like a computer fan, a CPU fan. You know, the little floaty kind of magnetic. I don't know if it's even a ball bearing fan. And being exposed with what I'm driving in, you know, that would be definitely an Achilles heel. There we go, swapped out, easy peasy. For the sake of showing this here, I'll show you how this piece goes back in. So you can see there's the cavity here, this is going to slide into it. Just kind of slide right down. Simple. 2 little plastic pop rivets. Simple as that. Now, I obviously have an aftermarket. These are the Trails by Grim Speed shrouds. If you've got the OEM, it sits the same. This sits the same. So the OEM is really no different as far as getting this piece off. Super simple, easy to do. There we go. Back on. Alright, just like that, we're back to the halogen headlamp. More of that OEM feel, if you will. Yeah, but I've got 2 headlamps back. We're just going to give that a go for a little while, like I said. With the additional lights that I have, I don't know how much I'll miss it or not. We'll find out. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. If you aren't already, consider subscribing to my channel and giving my video a like. Hope to see you on the trail sometime.